All right, we're back and we're looking at my desktop personal computer screen again. As I said, I'm going to be doing a lot of reviewing because I know a lot of you are just starting off and it takes a lot of repetition in order to learn a lot of these concepts. So quick review. To get to Photoshop Creative Cloud, we go to the lower left-hand corner and go to the Adobe Photoshop CC 2015. Open up the software, and now we're going to design begin a design involving the word emphasis, which we have already learned about. Emphasis is one of those very important design concepts that is integral to all successful types of graphic design. So, Photoshop is still opening. And quick review. Well, actually, let me create a new document. So we're going to go to File, New, 8.5 by 11, 300 dpi, 24.1 megabytes. Click OK. And there we are. We have that document. And if you do recall from the last demo, we already created this same blank document, and what we could actually do is go to File and go to Open, because before we did Save As. We saved the document from scratch. So we could go to File, Open, and then go to Emphasis. And there it is, Emphasis. Now, we're going to go to Window, Workspace, and make sure we're in the typography mode. And we should be, because we saved, when we created this document in the last demo, I showed you how to go up to Window, Workspace, and I spoke a little bit about these different screen modes and how they all had a different purpose within the design industry. And we selected typography. So there's typography. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type out the word emphasis. So we're going to go over to our toolbox. Over here on the far left-hand corner, we have Tools. And we can click these two little arrows up here and make it a two-sided toolbox, or if you can look real carefully next to this little X, there's an arrow, and then there's an arrow, or we can have this tower toolbox. So it's really up to you on what style of a toolbox you want to use. Now, let's say everything gets all messed up and you push your toolbox over here, and then your font is pushed way over here, and everything is all discombobulated. We can actually go back to Window and then go down to Workspace again and go to what's called Reset Typography. And what that does is it puts everything back to the way it originally was. It sort of cleans the house. So there we go. That's the default mode. And I'll be reviewing these concepts over and over again. And as I've said to my students, the best way to learn Photoshop is through application, is being exposed to the different Photoshop techniques as you're actually doing something within Photoshop. And what a better place to start with typography. So, we're going to click on T for type, which is all the way down near the bottom here. And then what we're going to do is actually just click once with our cursor. And then we're going to type out E-M-P-H-A-S-I-S, emphasis. And then there we have it. We have a little emphasis right now. Now what I'm going to do is actually zoom in so you can see it a little bit carefully. Now, you'll notice over here on what's called the Layers palette, where it says layers. We have channels, paths, then layers. I can turn this eyeball on and off just like that. And you'll notice that the actual layer is named emphasis. So if I double click it, I can highlight it and actually delete what I just did. And now it goes back to layer 1. See how it's labeled layer 1? So basically, whatever you type out becomes the name of the layer that you're on. So let me do that again just for a quick review. So before I clicked like that and I typed out the word emphasis, got to spell it right, emphasis, and then I moved it like that. I moved it around with my actually item tool. I'm going to click apply. Way up near the top is this little item tool. It's like a little mover tool. And I moved it around like that. And I can turn that layer on and off. There's my emphasis layer. And then what I did is I deleted it. Another way to do it is go to the type tool and actually pull out a box like this. By clicking down on the left side of your mouse with your index finger, you can pull out like this defining box, which actually defines the space, emphasis. Now if I kept typing, notice how it stays within that box. So that's another way to do things. So there's emphasis. Now I'm going to delete this again because I told you I was going to review, and I'm going to do it the first way I demonstrated. Just click once and type out the word emphasis. So it's a long string. Now with this variation, notice if I keep adding letters, they're going to go all the way across the screen and not exist within that box that I defined. Okay, so we have my emphasis layer. Now we're going to go to View, Show, Smart Guides. Turn those off. View. And let's save this. Save as, and we can just overwrite it. Click Save. Emphasis.